And we're back with part 2 of our Legion walkthrough. When we left off last time, we had the pleasure of meeting Joe Cobb, Powder Ganger, who, in my opinion, has the personality of a Deathclaw's hemorrhoid. And we're back with part 2 of our Legion walkthrough. When we last left off, we had the pleasure of meeting Joe Cobb, and in my opinion, he has the personality of a Deathclaw's hemorrhoid. He's a powder ganger. We also got to meet this fine lady here, who is Trudy, and she is the owner of the Prospector Saloon, and is currently not serving us any drinks. So we're gonna head off. Now, we did learn from both Trudy and Easy Pete a little bit of history concerning the powder gangers, and of course that includes Joe Cobb. So the powder gangers are actually originally prisoners of the NCR, and the NCR, of course, decided they wanted some quote-unquote cheap labor. See Joe over here. But anyway, they wanted some cheap labor and gave the convicts some dynamite. And of course, that plan literally blew up in their face. Now, I would say that they should have seen that coming, but why have foresight when you can just shrug your shoulders and do a normal oopsie-daisy like, again, the NCR normally does. So now the powder gangers are wandering around the Mojave, committing Lord knows how many violent acts, and are now threatening the town that saved us. And the reason they're doing that is due to Ringo. Ringo is a member of the Crimson Caravan, living up there, or I should say hiding out there in the Poseidon Energy gas station. And the reason he's hiding is when his caravan met the powder gangers, they just started shooting at him. And Ringo was not a fan of that, and instead of bending over and grabbing his ankles, he decided to not only take out the powder gangers' pride, but some of their members as well. So now Joe wants Ringo so he can gain some vengeance on him. And is also demanding that the town turn in Ringo. And if they don't, then the town's gonna pay. Now, and we're back with part 2 of our Legion walkthrough. When we last left off, we had the pleasure of meeting Joe Cobb, a powder ganger who has the personality of a Deathclaw's hemorrhoid. And we did also get to meet Trudy, who is the owner of the Prospector Saloon, and according to Sunny, she's also the town mom. Safe to say, I think Trudy over here might be one of the few people in the Mojave who actually has their stuff together. Now, we did learn from both Trudy and Easy Pete a little bit of history when it comes to the powder gangers. They were former prisoners of the NCR, and the NCR, in a display of its usual brilliance, decided that they wanted some cheap labor and gave the prisoners dynamite, and shockingly, the plan blew up quite literally in the NCR's face. And now the powder gangers, as they're now calling themselves, are running around the Mojave, committing God knows how many acts of violence. I'm gonna be a little controversial and say that the NCR should have seen that coming, but why have foresight when you could just shrug your shoulders, as well as the consequences, with a resounding oopsie-daisy like they usually do. So we can see Joe over here. Right now he is looking for a member of the Crimson Caravan named Ringo, and he was threatening Goodsprings itself with violence if the town didn't turn Ringo over. Now, the deal with Ringo is the gang lost several members. Oh, look, we have another one.
Never gets old when something blows up.
Okay. So yes, the powder gangers are threatening the town that if they don't hand over Ringo, that there's going to be hell to pay. Now, Ringo, his story is, again, he is a member of the Crimson Caravan. His caravan was in the middle of being robbed, and Ringo decided he wasn't going to take that bent over, essentially. So, he was able to escape to the Poseidon gas station and right up this hill by Doc Mitchell's house. And, well, not only did he take out a couple of powder gangers, but it looks like he also took out their pride as well. And Ash, she might be seeing some rather funky stuff, but she still has a good heart. And in the end, we do want safety for the Mojave, and that is our end goal. And right now, this is going to be our first step to achieving that. So, if we were to help the powder gangers in getting Ringo and pretty much blowing up the town, I assume, then we would have access to their explosives. We could travel this road, which is the I-15, without too much trouble, except for the occasional wildlife. And we could also use them later on as well when it comes to, I'll keep the spoilers down, but some different factions of the Mojave. But if I didn't make that plan, if I didn't make my plan clear before, I'm going to now, and we're not going down the path of helping the powder gangers. Town of Goodsprings has taken a lot of good care of us, and its citizens deserve better than whatever the powder gangers have planned for them. Also, personal note, I think Joe Cobb is a nasty little slimeball, and there's no way I'm not going to end up turning his corpse into a hamburger. So let's go check on Ringo, see what's going on, and offer our help.
That's close enough. Who are you, and what do you want with me?
I'm not an enemy, if that's what you're asking.
Sorry about the gun. You just caught me off guard, that's all. We got off to a bad start. Let's say we start over with a friendly game of Caravan. You know how to play?
Ringo, my dude, no one knows how to play Caravan. And I'm sure people who say that, oh, I played Caravan, you're lying. Stop. Did you know there's a man named Joe Cobb looking for you?
Yeah. He doesn't look very tough, though. I hear he's afraid I'll shoot him down from one of the windows when I see him. And he's right. I'll have a much bigger problem once his friends show up. There's no way I could handle all of them in a gunfight.
So I'm going to assume this is pretty much the only weapon that Ringo here has. He's not going to have a lot of luck trying to, take them out through the window. It's not exactly long range, so he's got to wait for them to get pretty close. So why are the powder gangers out to get you?
My caravan was on the return trip from California and heading back to the company branch in New Vegas when we got jumped. Not even a drop your weapons and hands up before the bullets started flying. We put up a good fight, but there was too many of them. I took a few of the bandits down before I ran, so I figure their friends are out for revenge.
What are you going to do about the powder gangers?
I'm gonna lay low for as long as I can, assuming the town doesn't throw me to the wolves. I've got no chance against the gang on my own.
Well, we're not exactly a hired gun, but maybe I can help.
We'd just end up sharing the same grave if it's just the two of us. Now, if some of the other people in town were also on board...
I'll ask around and see who I can round up.
Start with Sunny Smiles. She's been friendlier than most around here.
Okay, so before we go talk to Sunny, we're just going to take a quick glance around the gas station, check out what was left behind. Now, besides constantly saving in the Mojave, the other rule I'm going to say is just explore. When you think you've explored and looted enough, just do it all over again, because I can guarantee that you are going to find something that you missed. And that's not a crack at anyone, it just is what it is. I've played this game several times and I still find new stuff all the time. Very, very rarely have I been not able to find what I needed just by looking around. Or some bottle caps. All right, we are gonna head out and talk to Sunny. It is starting to get late in the day, although the buzzards don't seem to notice that up there. But we're gonna go talk to her and see if she'll help us with Ringo. She's a pretty brave chick, so I can't see her saying no. Good thing that Sunny Smiles likes her nightcaps, apparently.
Hi there. Sticking around Goodsprings for a while longer?
Now, eventually we are going to ask her about Prim, but we have something else on our plate right now. I'm going to help Ringo take on the Powder Gangers. I might need your help.
Say no more. I'm in.
So, despite us having a very low charisma, we're not going to go with the we might die horribly, well, maybe not me option. Well, that was easy.
Joe Cobb talks about leaving us alone if we hand over Ringo, but I know his type. He and his friends will come after the town eventually. However, between you, me, and Ringo, we aren't exactly a force to be reckoned with. A lot of people around here look up to Trudy. If you could convince Trudy to join us, some of the folks in town might decide to help out as well. I know Easy Pete's got a stock of dynamite somewhere, and Chet just got a shipment of leather armor we could borrow. Talk to them as well. Finally, there's a good chance we'll all end up with extra holes in us. So if Doc Mitchell could cough up some extra stim packs, that'd be great.
Any ideas on how to convince Trudy to join us?
A silver tongue would help. Convincing Trudy that we had a good plan to win the fight would also help.
I could take that another way, but I'm not going to. Would Chet be willing to give us his supplies?
I don't think give is in Chet's vocabulary. Even with the town at stake, he'd still make you barter with him.
How can I get Easy Pete's dynamite?
Easy Pete's pretty protective of his dynamite. You'd have to convince him you know a thing or two about explosives before you handed it over.
Okay, so let's
I'll be
head on
waiting.
out. It looks like we got our work cut out for us. Get a couple of, I guess, the older townsfolk to help us in this fight against the Powder Gangers. Oh, Easy Pete, you have a tumbleweed on you, sir. Okay, let's talk to him.
Howdy.
I hear you've got dynamite. It would help us beat the Powder Gangers.
Too dangerous. Gonna kill all yourselves if I let you touch it. Better to leave it buried. Safer that way.
Okay, so here we can see we do not have enough explosive skill to convince Easy Pete. Understandable. So it looks like we're at a 15 and we need a 25. So we're not gonna fail the check just yet. Just tell him, never mind.
Yup.
Oh, real quick, what do you know about Joe Cobb?
Bad trouble.
That's helpful.
Welcome.
Okay. Now,
Yup.
this doesn't mean that we can't get Easy Pete's dynamite in a non-criminal way. Okay, so what we have here is we did notice that our skill is at a 15 and it has to go up by 10. Now, we are going to see if we have a Patriots cookbook, which we do, and that will raise us by 10. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the magazine and look right in Easy Pete's face and lie to him and say that, hey, we know what we're doing.
Howdy.
I hear you got dynamite. It would help us beat up the Powder Gangers.
Told you before. It's too dangerous for a bunch of amateurs to handle.
Okay, here we go. We can pass. Explosive 25. I'm familiar with the care and handling of explosives, dynamite included.
Uh-huh. Guess you know what you're doing. I'll go dig it up and get it ready. You'll have it by the time the fighting starts.
Glad we got to lie to the old man who's been nothing but kind to us.
Yup.
Okay, so real quick, a not so fun fact is that dynamite was actually invented by Alfred Nobel from the Nobel Peace Prize. And he originally invented it to blow up rocks, trees, things for construction mainly. Of course, it was used for more violent purposes. So From what I've read, he actually ended up regretting its invention quite a bit. But, you know, that being said, it didn't really help him not catch a bunch of crap from other people. It actually does remind me of a quote, funnily enough, from Alan Grant in Jurassic Park 3. Now, the movie is god-awful, but the quote that he has is, "Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions." Just something to think about. Now, we do see that, again, it is night. So we're going to take this chance to just kind of go around and see what we can take from people's houses. I'm gonna do my best not to take more than what I need, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna stop me from showing up on an episode of work. I say that as I'm taking bullets, despite me not using a gun in this game. But again, it's all part of the Sometimes, if you look at the chessboards, they're actually being used as checkerboards, and they use bottle caps for the pieces. So, if you see a checkerboard, just take a peek over at it. Ooh, what are you? Oh my, I don't want to know what's going on in this house. We're heading on out. And we're gonna take the scrap metal and, oh god. That is not a bath bomb unless you're really not feeling good. So, to pass the other skills that we're gonna need with both Trudy and Chet, we will need levels of 25, and right now I do believe I'm at 15. Now, the alternate that you can is if you don't have...
Hello.
Oh, hi, Trudy. Is if you don't have, like, a magazine handy, you do have the option, it's actually a very, very popular option, of taking chems or drinking alcohol. Now, shockingly, like in real life, it does carry the risk of addiction. And being this early in the game, it's really not worth it. Because addiction, again, like in real life, is quite expensive to kick. And unless Doc Mitchell wants to open up some free detox clinics on every corner between here and the Strip, it's really just not worth it. Oh, and I don't know if you caught it, but we did just take a bottle cap that said it had a blue star on it. So we will find out more about the blue caps in a little bit, but it's not going to be right now. I actually don't have control over that.
Evening.
Hi, Trudy. I'm just going to wait in the morning to talk to her. Whoa. There's a party at Trudy's place. Good for her. Go get some. So yeah, the skill points are temporary from the magazines, but it does raise them by 10. Chems, you're really not going to get much. Maybe, I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. But here we do have a Chinese Army Special Ops training manual. Now, this will actually permanently raise our skill level, but it won't be by much. So we're paying for the amount that we're getting by it being permanent. And I don't know if you just noticed, but I have 666 caps. So assuming that Ash can read Chinese, we're going to read this. And our sneak is permanently increased by 3. I'm just going to take this opportunity to look around, see if I can just find anything that'll help us. And if I don't find anything, then I'm going to put Ash to bed. Now, despite this not being hardcore mode...
Hello.
Whoa! Easy Pete, I am so sorry for that. That never will cease to scare me. But anyway, it's still worth it to go to bed. Now, when you sleep in an owned bed, like one that you would get at either your player base or a hotel room, It actually gives you a little bit of a boost in earning XP. It's called like a well-rested perk. And it'll last for a few hours in-game. Now, we don't have any of those just yet, but it's still good to get in the habit. So you're not doing what I'm doing right now, just essentially going through people's stuff, looking for things to take. Now, food does give you radiation, although sometimes it gives you more health. It's really up to you depending on what you want. Okay, I think we're about ready to head to bed at this point. What we'll do is we'll wait about 10 a.m. That way everyone has a chance to get in their place and, you know, just... It'll still be early enough that if there's a fight, it'll be during the day. And we don't have to worry about any little sneaky surprises. And we'll need that meeting people for Trudy. Again, I am only at a 15 right now with my skills. But that's just the name of the game right now. And before anyone says, actually, the name of the game is New Vegas, just stop. Because that's exactly what I would do. Seeing if we can... Alright, and they're not quite on the chessboard set, but this is kind of what I was talking about. A lot of the times there'll be little bottle caps on the squares. But we're going to take that Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle cap. It just shows that, man, Sunset Sarsaparilla is just so superior than Tanuka Cola. Bed thing. As you can also see, our sneak skill is really low as well. I believe I've mentioned it before, but the fatal flaw of New Vegas is you can't pet any of the animals. Okay, and here's the trailer that we are squatting in. So let's get some sleep. Save. And sleep until about 10 a.m. I believe stores open it up at around 8, but give people some time. I'm just seeing if there's anything. Nope, nothing that we need. Bobby pins. We're gonna need that. Okay. Let's head on down. I'll go to speak to Trudy next, and after that I will get Chet. And then last but not least will be my personal favorite, Doc Mitchell. Yeah, it's funny, just because he also does the voice of General Tullius in Skyrim.
Hello
Whoa.
there. It's good to see a friendly face. I almost took you for
Sorry
a
about
raider,
that.
I did. Name's Malcolm. Malcolm Holmes. Don't suppose you'd care to trade. I'm missing a few essentials and... screw this. Lying just ain't in my nature. I'll tell it to you straight. I've been following you for a good bit now.
You were following me?
It started off innocently enough. I was traveling, as I often do, and happened to observe you picking up one of those blue star caps. You didn't show any reaction to it, so I figured you didn't know what you'd gotten your hands on.
Alright, so this just got a little creepier, because I stole those bottle caps in the middle of the night, so he was clearly peeping through some windows. What's so special about these caps?
There's an old wasteland legend that says somewhere out there is a fabulous treasure from before the war. Those caps with the blue star on them, the tale goes, are the key to that treasure. They're called Sunset Sarsaparilla stars.
Where can I find more of these caps?
All over the place. The easiest place to find them is unopened bottles of Sunset Sarsaparilla. You'd think they'd all have been picked clean by now, but somehow, new bottles keep appearing in the machines. Some say it's old Festus that does it, hoping someone will finally collect enough caps to earn the treasure. Other than bottles, you'll just have to scavenge. You can find caps in the unlikeliest of places, and Blue Star caps are no exception.
Oh no, I have to drink even more Sunset Sarsaparilla than normal. You mentioned someone named Festus. Who's that?
It's said that the treasure is guarded by a man named Festus, and he's the one who asked for the Blue Star caps. It's also said he's been around since the war, standing a lonely vigil, waiting for someone to come and take the treasure off his hands. That'll make him pretty damn old, but I've met a few people in my travels who claim they actually met him, and they weren't the lying type either.
It wouldn't be too out of the question then to assume that Festus might be an old world ghoul. So, like the name implies, it's a ghoul person who was irradiated during the Great War, who's still around. They don't age. So, you collect these caps too?
Nah, I gave it up years ago. Too dangerous. And even if I did still collect them, I'd tell you the same. There's people out there so mad with the idea of treasure that they'll attack strangers just on the suspicion that they have some of those caps.
What kind of treasure are we talking about?
No one knows. Money, weapons, water. It is, or maybe was, something of value, and that's enough to get people motivated.
Thanks for the info, but I'll be going now. And I will add, kind of off to the side, that I do need to work on your approach.
No problem. If you do end up trying to collect more stars, watch out for a man named Alan Marks. He's killed several people for their stars already.
Right, that's bad. Okay, important safety tip there, Egon. Alright, let's go talk to Trudy. I'm successfully weirded out. Oh, she's still not here. Let's wait. Oh, we need to repair her radio. Awesome. Nice little bit of XP right there.
So you're planning on taking on Joe Cobb's gang. It's a big risk, but I suppose you have to do what you think is right.
Oh, let's let her know I fixed your radio.
Yeah, I heard it turn right back on after you got done tinkering with it. Here's some caps for the work.
Oh, we don't have our barter up. Thanks for the caps.
You're welcome. So can I get you anything?
So I'm gonna back out so we can read our
Be careful out there.
People magazine and convince Trudy to join us on this good side.
Feeling thirsty? I can take care of that.
You should help me take down the powder gang. Bullets, explosions, lots of fun. Sounds like the 4th of July.
I was planning on sitting this one out, but for some reason, I can't help but like you. I'm with you. Let me have a word with a few other folks, and I'll see if I can't round up some more members for this militia you're creating. While everyone does own a gun, we could stand to be a little better equipped. The general store probably has what we need in stock.
All right, let's go talk to Chet.
Be careful out there.
Now, while I did mention before I want to keep a lot of the shopping off screen, just so this doesn't turn into a going shopping simulator, I am going to keep an eye out for both a baseball bat and a katana if I can, because they're cool, and what girl doesn't want to grow up to be either Beatrix Kiddo or the little slugger from Paranoia Agent, especially when it comes to Fallout. So, we are going to take the Salesman Weekly. And Vince
Hey
Chet.
there. You looking to buy some supplies?
I need supplies to fight the Powder Gangers.
Now just hold on. I never voted to take on the Powder Gangers. That's a 1,000 cap investment you're talking about.
Let them take over the town then. I'm sure your business will be much better off.
You made your point. I can provide people with some leather armor and extra ammo. Sure hope it's worth it. And, I'll be guarding the store while all this is going on. I have to put my business first. You understand.
I understand, Chet, but it doesn't mean I like it. What do you know about the situation with the powder gangers?
If Ringo doesn't head out on his own, I think we should hand him over. The town shouldn't get itself mixed into the problem. Don't mistake that for coward talk, though. We're a town of survivors. We'll fight tooth and nail if pushed, but we don't go looking for trouble.
Again, I respect that, Chet, but coming from you, it sounds more cowardly. Real quick, I'm just gonna see what he has.
Can do.
Take that shovel, do some repairing. Okay, so right here, just real fast, you can see some non-vanilla gear. There's some sunglasses, which I actually have to buy now. Hoods, armor. That's actually from a mod I have installed. It's called Spice of Life, and of course it's going to be linked down below. A good reason I dig this mod is if we take a look at it, it's actually, it's not going to be armor that will either kill immersion of the game or turn us into a walking tank. If anything, it's actually on the weaker side, and it's fashion for fashion's sake, again, without having to sacrifice our gameplay or making an unofficial god mode, which I like. However, I'm not going to get really anything from it just yet. We're just going to be in the plain lightweight leather armor for now, because we don't have the jury-rigging perk. So that means we won't be able to repair any of the unique armor easily, or without some very hefty amount of caps to pay someone else to fix it. So right now we're stuck needing exact matches of the equipment in order to repair it. So again, we're just going to hold off on that for now. Now, we are going to be getting some more stuff from Doc Mitchell, so I'm just seeing what he has here real fast. Alright, nothing that we're going to need besides what I have selected. Alright, thanks, Chet.
Another satisfied customer. Take it easy now.
And of course, we are going to save. Let's go have a chat with Doc Mitchell. Who again, though he is last, is certainly not least. This man is going to be so sick of seeing me in his house at this point. Not leaving brains on the floor, I'm asking him for stuff. Oh, that would have been awkward. Bathroom. Hey! Real quick, let's take our positions today. Or today's positions. And let him know what's up.
Welcome back. I had hoped you wouldn't need to come see me again so soon. What can I do for you?
This town is going to be attacked by bandits. Anything you can do to help?
Seems like wherever I go, it's always the same. Folks just never leave each other alone. Oh, I'm not much good in a fight with my bum leg. And my supplies are scarce, but I'll give you what I can spare.
Well, sadly, war never changes, and because our medicine is now at a 30 thanks to that skill magazine, they'll be using explosives. Do you have something for more serious injuries?
I ain't got much, but it'll do you more good out there than it will in here. Take what I got.
All right. With that, we are going to head on out.
You take care now.
Now, hopefully Kaisar never finds this out, but if I could, I would give the entire Mojave to Doc Mitchell. Number one, because he wouldn't want it, so that just makes him all the more worthy of it. And number two, he is just so cool and deserves it. So, we're gonna check. I'm pretty sure that we got everybody. Okay, so all we have now to do is return to Ringo and let him know that Sunny Smiles has agreed to help fight the Powder Gangers. And we got everybody else. Of before I go in, I'm just gonna make sure that everything is maintained. We don't need to quite maintain that leather armor just yet. This is stuff I can sell to Chet later. Extra armors. Alright, everything's good for now. Hey, Ringo.
So what's going on? Did Sonny agree to help us?
Sonny's with us.
Well, I guess that means we're ready to go. Unless you think there's something else you can do.
You know, I think we're good. Let's do this.
All right, I'm ready. I hope.
Time to look alive. The powder gangers are here to play.
Where's Trudy and the rest?
They're getting set up in cover, but it might not go well unless we get out there soon.
How many are there?
At least 6, Joe Cobb included. They look pretty mean.
Let's go.
Oh, Easy Pete came through with the dynamite. Here's your supply. I really hope I don't blow myself up. I'll be set up near the store.
Sonny!
Let's hope that the gang doesn't manage to make it that far.
Sonny, if you blow yourself up after I had to look right into Easy Pete's eyes and lie to him and say that we knew what we were doing, and you just end up in little bits and pieces, I will stick an extra thing of dynamite right into your coffin. All right, and down here we can see the powder gangers are coming out to play. Let's do this. I had an actual little test going for a second. There's Joe Cobb. I want to kill him. But for now, let's just look at these guys. Once I get this out, okay.
Like that. Damn!
Hey, you, no. You started this, now you're going to finish it. That I should have known better than to ask you questions. Well, you should have known better than to be rude. All right, here we have it. Powder gangers, vilified. For your overwhelmingly monstrous behavior, you have become vilified by the community. Goodsprings, idolized. Renowned for your extensive support and goodwill, you are idolized by the community. Awesome. And Joe, you had a stealth boy on you. I guess you should have made some use of it. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is loot.
I owe you a huge favor for this. Here, these are technically Crimson Caravan funds, but I know they'll understand once I explain things.
So, real quick, the Crimson Caravan is essentially a hybrid of the worst parts of Amazon and Walmart mixed together with the lawlessness of a wasteland. Right now, that's on a little mental post-it, and we're going to put that in our little mental refrigerator. So, no, they won't. You're welcome.
I'll stick around for a bit longer, but I'll be gone in a few days. If you ever visit New Vegas, look me up at the Crimson Caravan camp.
Oh, Ringo. So, I am going to loot. That's everyone's favorite bit. Again, I can't repair my armor with their uniforms, but I can repair their armor together, get a nice little hit, a tiny little bit of XP from it, and get them sold. Obviously, repaired items that are in good condition are going to sell more than junk. I also kind of like the implication that I leave a bunch of naked men in my wake. And somehow, now that I took his clothes, he's even dressed. Happen. Okay, so I did not. I'll get most of this dynamite sold just, again, our explosive's pretty low, so there's really nothing I can do with it right now. And we are going to need the caps for things like doctor's bags, which are going to repair our limbs when they surely get crippled. And now that our business in Goodsprings is really drawn to a close, let's go talk to Sunny.
Hello.
Hey, Trudy.
That'll teach the powder gangs to avoid Goodsprings in the future.
All right, now down to business. I need to get to Prim. Can you suggest a route?
Sure can. Take the road southeast out of town till it hits the freeway. Prim is the town with the roller coaster straight south. Can't miss it. NCR patrols do a good job of keeping the highway clear, but I'd keep your gun where you can reach it easily. You never know who you'll run into. Off the road, you'll probably start running into hostile wildlife. My advice would be to stick to the highway when you can.
Well, now that we have been vilified by the powder gangers, I'm sure we'll be getting ambushed whenever they spot us walking on the highway. And real quick too, let's talk about the areas around Goodsprings. Doesn't hurt to have a little more knowledge on our side.
Sure, what do you want to know?
What other towns are nearby?
Southeast of here is Prim, can't miss it. Since it has the giant old roller coaster right in the middle of town. The NCR's got an outpost there. If you follow the road north, you'll eventually hit Sloan and Quarry Junction. They mine rocks or something, but I heard they got troubles lately. I wouldn't head that direction if I were you, though. Got critters up there that don't take kindly to getting shot.
I know she doesn't mean it, but it sounds like she's saying, oh, what, the NCR doesn't like getting shot at? What kind of creatures are out there?
Around here, mostly coyotes and geckos. The coyotes are pretty dangerous in large packs, but otherwise they're nothing to really worry about. The geckos aren't too tough, but they've got a nasty bite. I've heard about bigger, nastier versions out in the wasteland, but I've never seen them. Stick to the roads when you can, and steer clear of the hills north of Goodsprings. The critters up there are big and poisonous.
So, tell me some more about the NCR.
The new California Republic. Bunch of settlers and soldiers coming in from the west, fixing on making Nevada their own. They can be right pushy, but the roads are safer because of them, so I tend to let it go. Not that I got a choice.
Are the roads safer, Sonny? What does the NCR keep you safe from?
Well, the wildlife for one thing, rowdy locals for another. They're protecting their own. Just happens to help us. They've been holding off this other group from the east, too.
What do you know about the other group?
Got a funny name. Call themselves Caesar's Legion. Never seen them in these parts, so I couldn't tell you much. I hear rumors, that's about it. Supposedly they keep slaves and they got some real nasty ways of killing folks. But maybe that's just something folks in the NCR cooked up to make themselves seem more useful here. Less uninvited.
Ah, good point. Alright, that's all I wanted to know. Let's talk about something else.
If you want to know anything else, just ask.
Okay, well, that's really all that we need from her.
Until next time.
So, we can see down the path here, we can just make out Prim. If you look really close, the roller coaster will eventually come into view. There we go. And we need to go there so we can speak to our boss, Johnson Nash, and let him know that the platinum chip that we were supposed to deliver was stolen after we got shot. Fingers crossed, we won't catch too much flack with either him or the Mojave Express, despite our contract with them clearly stating outright that as the courier, it's our responsibility to keep our package safe, whether that costs us our caps or our lives. It's all considered fair game. Yeah, we got some work to do, but at least we know that we did something good here today, and that's saving Goodsprings and, you know, just ignore the half-nude dead bodies around here that, you know, they pop up. So, I actually think here is a good place to call it. Again, we saved Goodsprings as a thank you for saving our life, and all it cost us in the end was to be vilified by the powder gangers. I can live with that. As I mentioned before, I'm sure we will have plenty of ambushes awaiting us, like, on our way there. Now, if we can't avoid them, it's nothing we can't handle. Try to think of it in terms of extra XP and extra loot. Now, Sonny did say that the NCR is patrolling the highway, but even if that's true, they're not very good at it. Especially since we had to be the ones to take care of the little powder ganger problem that they caused. So, let's head off, speak to our boss, and beg for mercy. Later days, everyone.